Okay, welcome in. This is the 2019 Mineola ISD School Board Candidate Public Forum, and we're here at Mineola City Hall tonight, and our moderator this evening is Mr. Sam Curry. Sam, take it away.
Thank you very much, Kyle, and you actually just did my introduction already. So yes, welcome to this public forum for the 2019 Mineola School Board candidates. This forum is sponsored by the Mineola Foundation. The president is here tonight, Warren Brown. Warren, if you would rise, be recognized. Warren Brown, president of the Mineola Foundation. And the CTE, the committee, that committee, the foundation, that's Career and Technology Education, is also more or less co-sponsoring, and its chairman, Gene Beat. Gene, and of course, we would also like to recognize those connected with the Mineola ISD, and that starts at the top with the superintendent, Dr. Kim Tunnell, who will come up at this time for a welcome and introductions of some of the school officials who are here. Dr. Tunnell.
Welcome. We're so glad that you're here, and I just want to personally congratulate all of you on your willingness to serve the students in Mineola ISD. School board elected positions, you know, the pay's not high, but the stakes are very high when we set forth plans and work together for the success of our kids. So I want to welcome each of you and thank you for your willingness to be part of the progress and the success of our students. I also want to introduce our school board president, Dr. John Abbott, and as well as our assistant superintendent of finance and operations, Mr. William Bjork, and then our director of special programs, Mark Parkerson, who's here this evening as well. And of course, a big thanks to the city of Mineola and the partnership we have with the Mineola Foundation. We actually had some interesting news this afternoon on the TEA website. We've been working for the last few months together with other districts, and we saw where it was posted that we're one of 6 districts in the state that's been awarded the Regional Hub Grant for the Industrial Maintenance and HVAC, as well as the $17,000 grant to help with certification. So it was a blessing for us, and we look forward to working with the other districts and school board members to set a great plan in place for our kids. So welcome, and we're glad that you're here.
So Kyle, you got some late breaking news right there.
I did.
By the way, we would like to recognize Kyle and Kay Move, if you will. The manager, Tanya Slayton, and Kyle Owens is the news and sports director, and he's here doing the technical facilitating for the live broadcast tonight. And I'd also like to, she mentioned that we thank the city for providing the space here tonight at City Hall, so I'd like to recognize the mayor, Kevin White, come in and say just a short welcome and recognize other city officials who might be here.
Thank you and welcome here to Mineola City Hall. At this time, I'd like to recognize a couple of our city council members, Ms. Jane Langford and Mr. David Biggins, for coming out tonight. And I'd also like to recognize in the crowd County Judge Lucy Hebron. And finally, I'd like to thank our city manager, Mercy, and I'd also like to thank Cindy for coming out and making sure we have all this ready for everybody today. So good luck. Thank you.
Okay, so without further ado, let's kind of run through what we have discussed with the sponsors as the manner in which we'll conduct the forum tonight. We'll have in a moment a 2-minute introduction by each of the school board candidates, 2 minutes. And by the way, we have a timekeeper right over here who will he's an engineer, so he came up with this very high-tech way of telling you when time is up. Now, there will not be a hook that will stop you from talking, and there's not a trap door under you or anything like that. We understand that you may want to complete your thought or a sentence or something like that, but in the interest of time, that will help you keep time. So a 2-minute introduction, and then there'll be a series of general questions that were just accumulated by our sponsors from the general public. And then there'll be an opportunity for the audience here tonight to ask a question, and Kyle will be taking a microphone kind of center there. And so when we get to that point, we'll explain a little bit more about the logistics at that time. That will be those answers to those questions will be a 1-minute answer. And what we'll do is when the question is asked, you'll raise a hand, whoever wants to start, and then all candidates have an opportunity to answer either questions. The questions begin with, by the audience at the end, and then we'll close it with a 2-minute closing. So is everybody, all the candidates, okay with that general format? That seemed like a fair way to do things. Everybody okay?
We don't get flashing lights?
Well, I don't know. Does it flash, or I think it just comes on. Okay. The radio audience may not understand exactly what's going on here. So I will now introduce the candidates, and we will go in the order of the way they'll be listed on the ballot this Saturday. And that means that Jim Ruffin will lead off. 2 minutes, Jim.
All right, thank you, and thank you for coming out tonight. I don't see this as a lose for any of the candidates. It's an opportunity for you to get to know us a little bit better and make a good informed decision about who's going to be running your schools for the next few years. So my name is Jim Ruffin. I was born and raised in a little rural small town in Mississippi, a 2A school district. I came out of the high school there with about an 8th grade education. But from that point, I've worked up, obtained a bachelor's, a couple of masters, and a PhD to show you that you can succeed from a small rural town. I'm from the U.S. government, 26 years as a special agent with ATF. And in 2006, I taught my first class at a university right after I received my PhD. And I've been teaching on and off at the university level ever since then. So I teach down at the University of Texas, at Tyler when they need an adjunct, and I teach at Colorado Christian University in their online master's program. My wife, Angie, is here, and we live in my daughter, Sunny, and I have a son, Buddy. Sonny's in the 9th grade, Buddy's in the 7th grade. He is at the Avenger movie tonight. You may know they've sponsored the band at the movies tonight. So Sonny is in the 9th grade, and we live about 2 miles north of Walmart there on 37, a place called Long Haven. We bought there in March of 2016. And the reason that I'm running is because I don't see a lot of teamwork and team building and a lot of consistent decisions being made at the school board level. And I would like to offer some leadership and some support with that. So thank you, and look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Jim. I would ask the audience, can you hear okay? I think they can move the mics a little bit closer if you wish, but everybody's okay. All right. All right, the next candidate on the ballot will be Joe McCarty.
My name is Joe McCarty. I'm Executive Director for the Mineola Housing Authority. I'm born, bred, and eat Mineola. Been here all my life. Went to Beaumont about 6 years and came back, but Mineola is my home. I have 2 daughters, Patricia and Michelle, and 4 grandkids, 3 girls and 1 boy. That's my heart. But I'm running for school board because I want to make a difference. I want to bridge like a gap between the communities and the teachers, staff, and everyone involved in school. That's my passion, kids my passion, and I just want to be there to help. I don't want to sit and complain. I want to be a part of the solution, and that's why I'm running for school board.
All right, thank you very much. Next candidate is Jackie Lee Roderick. Jackie?
Well, good evening. Thank you again for being here tonight. Again, my name is Jackie Lee Roddick. I'm another Mineola girl. I was born and raised right here. Moved away long enough to get a degree and then came right back and went to work. I did graduate from here in 2012, then ran off to Texas A&M for a couple of years before I came back. And now I work in my family's business. We have Mineola Packing Company out east of town. So we've been there for about 60 years, and so I'm happy to be back, happy to be a part of this community. My husband and I just bought a house and we're putting roots down here. And so I'm really interested in being involved in what we can do to make this a better community for everyone. I'm running for school board because I'm a firm believer that good school districts, good communities, good nations don't happen on accident. They happen because people get involved, people who are willing to put their boots on and go to work. And so I'm interested in what I can do to help make our school district better and help make our community better. I think that I'm qualified for that job because my family makes a living with skilled laborers. That's the fact of the matter. And so I know that career and technical education has been a super hot topic in Mineola right now. And I think that I have the skills and the knowledge. I come from a background that would really offer a unique perspective on that discussion. And so I'm excited to be here tonight, excited for this opportunity. Thanks for coming again.
Thank you, Jackie. Next is Jill Melvin Kiombao.
You got it.
She gave me some pronunciation directions before we went.
We had to practice a few times before he mentioned it, so you did great, Sam.
Thank you.
So I'm Jill Melvin Kiombao. I am also a Mineola Independent School District graduate of 1992. So I bleed orange. Everything that we try to do is orange. I am very happy to be back in Mineola. We've been back in Mineola for over 15 years. I am a nurse practitioner and have practiced in town for the last 13 years. And I still practice in town a few days a month. I've moved my practice to equipment to be in the hospital. I have 2 children currently in this school. I have a 5th grader, McKenna. I have a 3rd grader, Camden. And I drug my husband from the Dallas area here, and he loves it. It's a wonderful place to raise children. Everyone is so friendly, and it's just a great atmosphere. My mom, Brenda Feldman, is also a Mineola graduate. Most of you, if you've been here forever, knew my granddad, Truman Thomas. He ran the movie theater and the drive-in theater, so we've been here for many moons. I served previously for 6 years on the board. I got on the year before McKenna started kindergarten because there were no women on the board. At the time it was all men, and I really thought you needed a female perspective and a mom's point of view and how things are run at school. I really come from that perspective. I want what's best for my children. I want what's best for your children, for your grandchildren. I want them to get a great education in a great community that I love. I think the CTA is great. I know we'll get to that in a minute. I think it's awesome, the new opportunities that are coming up and the grant funds that are coming in. And that's about it.
All right, thanks, Jill. Well, with 4 of the candidates ladies, I think it's a pretty good chance that they'll be ladies. So re-elected. Patricia Wright is next.
Hello, everyone. My name is Patricia Wright, and before I begin, I would just like to say, in order to make a difference, you have to create change. And you can't create change unless you have the courage to face adversity. And I know just as well as everyone here knows, we can't pretend or act as if everything that we go to do is always positive. And I'm not trying to reflect on the negative, but I'm here to show every child, every student, every parent that we can make a difference together. If we can't do it together, it won't be done. And I want to be that voice to that child, that the student that has academic problems, has many problems, even in the household, that you can do anything that you set your heart out to do, that I am a product of that very thing. And I would like to say I did go to college, And I was the young lady that the teacher told that would never amount to anything. But I did go to college. I graduated from college, got an education in early childhood through 4, and I've had experience. I worked in private schools in the DFW area, and later pursuing my master's as ongoing now in college student personnel. And I just wanted to let you know that it's my main reason, my main goal, and I don't have an agenda, but my main goal is that little girl that's sitting in front of me. That if you don't have the courage to face the world and let the world know that you can make a positive difference in the lives of children that people say that are hopeless, that she can. And not only just for her, but for every child, for every mother, for every father, and everyone that is commuted here together today. And I wanted to let you know that I know, without a shadow of a doubt, I can be a person that is willing and hopeful and known to do what I'm supposed to do, which is be a great candidate for Mineola ISD.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. And the sixth candidate, Mr. Glenn Dawson.
My name is Glenn Dawson. I was born and raised in this community like several of the others. I graduated high school here in 1964. Prior to that, I attended a rural school east of town, New Hope, that no longer exists. My wife, Darla, also born and raised in Mineola, graduated in class. We have 3 children, all born and raised in Mineola, all graduated from Mineola High School. We have 3 grandchildren who currently 2 of them are enrolled in 7th grade at Mineola. So we have roots here. We've been here all of our lives, with the exception of 3 years that we was in commerce going to school, 3 years we taught in Pittsburgh High School in Kent County. I was encouraged by several people to run for the board. I worked in the school system here for 47 years, retired in 2017, and was encouraged to run for the board then, and I didn't. But this year, people encouraged me to run and told me that that they thought that maybe it's time for me to give back to the community. The community's been good to me. The years that I worked here, the school system, the community supported I taught agriculture, supported agriculture program very well. And so maybe it is time that, I give back. I've got some time now. I currently am serving as a mentor in the Vocational Agriculture Teachers Association of Texas, and work with first-year teachers and do quite a bit of volunteer work within the agriculture FFA program.
Thanks, Ken. Let's really reward all these candidates tonight. Okay, now we begin the round of the questions that just generally come in from various parts of the public. These were gathered by the sponsors, just talking to various people, things like that. And the first one I'm going to say is probably pretty fuzzy. And it may be redundant of what you've already said. It's pretty simple, but it'll give you the opportunity if you're sitting there thinking, gosh, I wished I had mentioned this or that or whatever. And the way we'll do this again, just raise your hand and then it'll just go to anyone who you wish. Remember, 1 minute time on this series. Why do you want to serve as a board member at MISD? I told you it's pretty simple. Hands? Okay, Jim.
Sure.
Oh, and let me suggest that you say your name at the beginning for the radio audience sake, okay?
Sure. This is Jim Ruffin. And the reason that I want to run is because we need to put students first in every category that we have. So when I look out in this audience, just like Patricia said, I see my children, and I want to make decisions that impact them in a positive way, that they can carry forward into the future to use to build their careers. And we need to give them the tools that they need, regardless if it's CTE. There's a lot of questions about CTE, a lot of questions about curriculum development, a lot of stuff about STAR testing that's going on. So I want to provide some leadership that's going to positively impact the students here at Mineola ISD.
Hands? Okay, Jackie?
This is Jackie Lee Roddick. I would like to run, or I am running for the school board for 2 reasons. Like Dr. Ruffin said, the first one is obviously the students and their education. I want to make sure that Mineola is providing the best opportunities possible to be competitive in if they choose to go to university or if they choose to enter the workforce right after high school. And the second reason is for the taxpayers, because someone has to represent who has to pay for all of this. I think that I can have a voice for the citizens of Mineola, for the other business owners who are established here, or maybe who are interested in moving here to open a business. What we do in our school district is oftentimes a key motivator for why someone chooses to move to a place or chooses to put down roots there. And so I'd like to represent that voice as well. It's important that who's paying for it is represented, and that their voice is heard. So like I said, just in addition to being here for the students and for their education, I want to make sure that that is balanced on the people that have to pay for it.
Okay. Hands?
I,
Okay, Tricia?
I don't want to, I want to be remiss in saying this, but I know I said it earlier. But also, when we get into the STAR testing, the CT program, and different programs that have already been established by Dr. Tunnell and the school board and just the whole school district, which is a great thing because everyone don't choose to go to college. But at the same time, I also want to say that one reason that I want to run, not only just for this particular person, for as low performance, high performance students, or not only just high performance students, but students that feel that they don't fit in the diameter. And when I say that, that's all students feel they are a significant part and they have a voice. That just because they might be the student that might not make high grades, that they can't have a voice, or they don't have a perspective or a right to say that they are significant. And I want to let the Mineola know and the whole district know that every person, every student
Got time?
has a significant part.
Okay, thanks, Patricia. Other Katie? Jim?
This is Jill Kiambao. So one of the reasons that I want to run too is students have to come first. I think that we really all agree on that. That's a pretty general statement that I can say. I think we all are here for our kids. And what we want to do, what I want to do is make a well-rounded student so that they are able to go out into the world with whatever they pursue and have all of the needs met from our school district, that they will be successful in any field that they go in. If you look at the panel up here, and if you look at the number of faces that I see that are from Mineola and have worked in Mineola, we've all grown up here. We have all succeeded in different fields. And so we are doing that well-rounded individual teaching, which is what we're here for. We want every student that goes through to have the education that they need and to offer every opportunity that they can have that all the other school districts are able to offer in bigger cities and some in smaller cities. We want our kids to be as competitive.
Okay, thank you, Jill. Anyone else? Okay, Joe?
As I said before, the reason I want to run is because my name is Joe McCarty, by the way. The reason I want to run is to make a difference. I know oftentimes that the word doesn't get around, so I feel like if I'm on the board, I can get the word out to friends that maybe hadn't gotten the word or whatever. So I want to be that voice that can go out and, like I say, help bridge the community, help bring them together, let them know what's going on. We have a school board, some of us may not even come to the school board meeting. I want to be that voice that take it out there and say, this is what's going on in the school district. You can get your part in, say whatever you need to say, and get your input in before it happens, and then you're gonna have nothing to say when it's not going your way. So I want to be that boy.
Okay. Anyone, Glenn?
Okay. I spent 50 years in the classroom, and I think I have an insight maybe from a teacher's perspective that some may not have. We're all here, as I said, we're all here for good kids. I don't think anyone would deny that. But I'm pretty much of the opinion, if we don't have a motivated, enthusiastic teacher in the classroom, it's not going to happen. You know, regardless of what we have and what we don't have, the most important component I think is that teacher. And I want, if elected to the school board, I want to be the teacher advocate. We have a very large budget, a multi-million-dollar budget, and I think I've heard them say 80 or 85% of that is personnel. You can't do nothing about it. Well, I think you can do something about it if we motivate and work with the teachers and get their input into the process more than we probably do now. I think we can change that.
Okay, these questions feature a variety of elements of the school, so sooner or later we'll probably cover about every element. But since Dr. Tunnell mentioned the news tonight about technology future, this question: what direction do you think technology at MISD should go? Hands? Jill.
This is Jill Mineola. So technology, I think that it is amazing with merited funds and donations that the school has received, that we have been able to provide technology to the hands of nearly every student in the district. There are not many districts that can say that their children have that availability of technology in their daily school life. There are some children that would never have been able to have their hands on an iPad or a laptop had the Meredith Foundation and school boards in the past managed funds well enough to be able to provide that for all of our students. I think technology is going to be the way of the world. As we have all seen, you walk around with a handheld computer every day. It can start your car, it can change the air in your house, it can turn your lights on. Technology is everywhere, whether you're with it 100%, 80%, or 10%. There's not a day that goes along that you're not using some form of technology. And I think it's a disservice if we don't teach our children. That's why I'm moving this way.
They need to put the light a little bit higher.
I asked about flashing lights.
Jim, I think you're
Sure.
here.
This is Jim Ruppin, and I want to just piggyback on what Jill says. We're not going backwards. We cannot look backwards with regards to technology or education using technology, or technology assisting education. And if everybody out here would try to put your phone up and not touch it for a full day, you just about can't do it. Okay? I was really taken back by a picture that I saw on Facebook the other day of a farmer that was out with an iPad turning on his irrigation systems. Technology's here to stay, and we have to get on board, or we'll be left behind. Relationships with the teachers is very important, but technology's here to stay.
Okay. Tricia, I think your hand went up slightly first. Okay.
My name is Patricia Wright, and basically the only thing that I have to say pretty much is basically the same thing, not to be repetitive, but we have to keep up with modern day technology. That's how the world runs, and that's how it is. In order for us or our children to be capable to stay and have innovative ideas and stay involved in the communities or even in the world when they advance to go into their careers, they're gonna have to have it. There's no way around it. Technology is very imperative in education.
Jackie.
This is Jackie Lee Roddick. I'm actually going to offer a bit of a different perspective than what's been shared. So if you read the research, there's actually a lot of studies that suggest that too much technology in the classroom can contribute to student anxiety, student depression. It can actually confuse their learning more than it helps it. So while I do support technology in the classroom, and I think that it is important that our students are comfortable with technology, it's important that there's a balance, that we don't get away from the solid foundation of education that we've always had. So there's nothing like a student being able to do basic arithmetic in their head. Technology can't help a student with comprehension. They have to be able to understand what they're reading, whether they're reading it on hard paper or they're reading it on a tablet. And so I think that we have to approach technology with the understanding that it is important, and it's important that our students are comfortable with it. It's important that our students are not behind in the technology that has been developed and is being developed, but we have to understand that it has its place. So it is not above our students' education, and it cannot be ranked above that, just for the sake of technology.
Okay, anybody else? Joe?
I kind of agree with Jackie. I'm for technology. I know it's very important. I have to sometimes go to Zion and say, Zion, help me with this. You know, it's just important. But as she said, some of the old stuff, we have to instill that in our kids. It's kind of hard to try to teach them just common stuff, you know. So you got to have that in order for this technology thing, and it's real important. On my job, I use it every day, but I have I'm bored, but I have there's half and half. You gotta have it, but then you gotta have this other thing, which is common sense, to get through everything. So, that's my thing. And I also taught my daughter about time too. She sees that light on.
Okay. All right, Lee.
All right, Glenn Gossett. Obviously, this is the world of technology, the world revolves around technology, and certainly we've got to keep pace. My concern is that that it supports the educational process and doesn't take the place of it. I think I've already said this, and I probably will again, but the teachers is the nucleus of this thing. And I think they need what they need to support what they do. And all teachers don't teach alike. We seem to, I know, when I first began teaching, everybody, all kids are different, they learn different, and they need to be taught different. That's true. But through the years, we've kind of made cookie cutters out of teachers, and they need to all do the same thing, and we evaluate them along that line. I have no criticism of technology. I think it's great. If you don't use it, then as been said, well, you're going to be left behind. But it needs to be used as support and not in place of it.
Okay. And I think we heard from all the candidates again, am I right? Let no one out. Okay, this next question is kind of a broader look at the spectrum of education, I guess. Do you think MISD is headed in the right direction with curriculum for its students? Overall curriculum. Jim?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I guess because I'm here, yeah, I know this is a hot topic for Mineola ISD, the blended learning, the individualized learning, personalized learning. I think that we're going in the right direction with the blended learning. Everybody doesn't learn the same, we all know that. But in saying that, I do want to say the caveat to it is if we see an area in that learning that's not working, we need to make the adjustments, okay? You've heard it up here from the classroom. I can tell you that every kid doesn't learn the same. And so that's where the relationship is with the teacher and the student that Mr. Dossett's talking about. That teacher has to recognize the differences in those students and then make the adjustments in the classroom. But the overall concept of blended learning, I think, is a pretty good concept.
Okay. All right. Patricia?
My name is Patricia Wright. I also agree with Mr. Ruffin, but I also wanted to say in defense to the teachers that even with the blended learning, the curriculum that we do have at Mineola ISD, I think because a lot of times it's so many children in the classroom, the teachers get really frustrated. Because like we said before, there are many different learners in the classroom that might not be on the same level. So you might have 10 kids on totally different levels, and this teacher, which I call her superwoman or superman, because they have to actually be asked to create a miracle. And it gets so frustrating to the teacher because we have things that we ask of the teacher that sometimes, because it's so many kids or so many children in the classroom, we're actually asking them to do something that almost sometimes becomes so, you have so much silent frustration, you're just so frustrated you don't know what to do.
Okay. All right, thank you, Tricia. Any others? Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, would you ask that question again?
Oh, boy. It regards the overall curriculum. You think MISD is heading in the right direction with curriculum?
Are we talking about course offerings, or are we, or
I'm just reading the
that
question, Lee.
That's a pretty vague question. I don't know how to respond to that. Mineola has, from the time I spent there, Mineola has a pretty broad offering as far as different areas of the curriculum. Now, the specific curriculum, I don't think that's too much up for discussion. That's pretty much outlined by the state as far as what you cover. So I assume you're talking about are the course offerings varied enough? And that's the way I'll have to answer it. I think a variety of curriculum is great. Every kid, one thing that we ought to be doing is, we spend a lot of time talking about preparing kids for the work world. Well, there's a world of kids that don't know what they want to do. And, we need to spend some time doing that. And I think the way to do that is to have a wide variety of curriculum, expose kids to as many different areas of those curriculums as they can. I don't think just because you're an undergraduate, that keeps you out of going into some career technical program if you wanted to. Right. And I don't think
Okay. All right, and again, I think, Jill, all right. I think we got everybody.
This is Jill. So I agree with Mr. Dawson. I mean, I really think that Mineola's curriculum is headed in a great direction, being able to offer things that weren't available when I was in school. I stuck my first patient on one of my first jobs. I didn't know if I was going to like to draw blood. These kids are having that experience in high school, and they're either going to love it or they're going to hate it, and they're going to know now if that's the field for them. Some of them have already decided, yeah, I don't want to do that. But if I would have had that opportunity, I mean, what if I didn't like it in high school? I could have been an accountant, but not really, because I love drawing blood. So. But I mean, I took freshman ag as a senior and raised a pig and had the best time ever because it was offered to me. Having these things offered to our students is making that well-rounded individual that's going to go out and be productive. And I'm proud of Mineola for that.
Did I miss anyone?
I think
Okay.
two of us.
Yeah. Joe?
It's Joe McCoy. I think curriculum is good because they're getting things now like starting in kindergarten and preschool and all that we didn't get when we were coming up, and it lets them know about things that they didn't know, that they wouldn't know. And they're getting it early on, like the math and all that. So I think the curriculum is real good right now.
All right. Patricia?
Can I say one more thing before you go ahead?
Just real quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, when I was answering the questions, I was referring because it was so broad. When you say curriculum, I was referring more to because if we really think about it, the teachers teach a lot of the test. And that's my parameter where I was going because I commend Mineola ISD for all the different programs and the different things that you have created thus far because it's a lot different. It is amazing, the job you are doing.
Okay. So since Ms. Wright had an extra 20 seconds or so, feel like they need, okay, are we good? Jackie? Okay.
This is Jackie Lee Roddick again. I think the curriculum in MISD has a lot of strengths and has a lot of weaknesses. So it's been said before, we're offering a lot of different things to students that haven't been offered before. I think that it's same as what's been said before. I think it's incredible that we're able to do that and provide students with a lot of different chances to try different things. But I think that as a school district, we do have to be just conscientious or cautious of putting students on a specific track. I know students, people my age, who went to college and changed their major 2 or 3 times because they didn't know what they wanted to do. And so it's important that our students feel that freedom in school, that they do have those opportunities and that we're not putting them on too much of a track too quickly. So they should have the freedom to do things without feeling like they're being pushed in one specific direction.
Okay. Did we cover everybody on that one? I think we did. Okay. All right, this next one's kind of interesting. When school board votes are not unanimous, will you demonstrate leadership by fully supporting the final decision of the majority of the board in private as well as in public, advocating for Mineola ISD in the community in a positive manner? Joe.
Joe McCarty. I will, because whatever I'm in it 100%. I'm a team player. So even if I don't agree and the unanimous decision is that what I disagreed on, I will support whatever in public and private.
Jill.
This is Jill. So absolutely, yes. I think that's why you have closed sessions, so that you can have those discussions. Everyone is able to speak their mind and get their opinion heard. But I think that it is imperative to have a strong front that a majority has voted, and this is what we're supporting, whether you are on the pro or the con of it. It shows strength, it shows teamwork, it shows leadership, and it can instill confidence in the community and in your student body and in your teachers.
Others? Jim?
Short answer, yes. Executive session.
Kyle went the wrong direction, so okay.
Executive session is where you hash out your differences, but when you come out out before the public, you're a united front.
All right. Jane?
Ms. Glendale said, certainly this country is built on democracy, and part of the democracy is majority rules, and I'll support the decision of the majority. If that's what you ask, if you're asking, will I change my vote? If I'm in the minority, will I change? Well, if I'm in one way and change to the other, no, I won't do that. If people that vote for me are voting for me to express my opinion and do what I think's right. But certainly, whatever the decision is determined by majority, I'm going to support that. But so long as you don't mean that I just change my vote just so it's unanimous, I'm not doing that.
Okay. All right, anyone else? Any hands? Tricia?
Basically, pretty much what everyone has said. This is Patricia. I just wanted to say that creates to be authentic to the public. That they actually see that what he was saying, that he might not change his vote, but he's going to go with the total whole. But at the same time, we have to always stay loyal to each other, and especially representing children, because we're the example, and they have to see that we are not going to degrade or say anything negative, in any form about Mineola ISD.
Okay. Jackie?
Well, at risk of sounding like the difficult one, I don't think that I can answer this question in a general way. I think that it is far too specific to each situation. And without knowing what issue potentially caused this division, I can't comfortably say, yes, that I will be completely supportive of that decision, or that, no, I won't. when it comes down to it, I will have to be vocal and make sure that people understand my stance on whatever the issue was. I don't plan on being difficult by any means. If the school board has voted to go a certain direction, I by all means will support them and do my job in that. I'll be professional and use discretion if it's a closed session. But if it's not, I can't say that, yeah, I will support the community. We serve 3-year terms for a reason, so that folks know where you stand on issues and they can choose to reelect you or they can choose not to. And I think that it is important that people know where you stand.
That all? Everybody? Okay. All right, next question. It's kind of in the same arena. How do you feel about school and community relations? I assume that means the two working together or in parallel with one another. Anybody in the room ask that question, by the way, so they can further clarify? It's how do you feel about school and community relations? Jill?
I know as part of the community, I think that we have excellent support and we try to do everything we can. Our local Kiwanis club's doing backpacks for kids and school supplies, and like you said, the band is currently downtown at the movie theater seeing the movie. I think that we have excellent support and relations between the community. Mineola Community Bank bringing water to any event and every event that they possibly could. I don't know many school districts that are as supported by their community in as many different avenues as we are here. We're extremely fortunate to have the people that are here tonight concerned about who's going to be on the board serving. I mean, they're here supporting the school as we speak.
Of hands? Joe?
Joe McCarty. I just want to say, I don't think one exists without the school needs the community needs the school. Without each other, we're not gonna prosper. So I think they need each other.
Anybody else? Glenn? Well, okay.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
We have our mic man moving.
I agree with what Joe said. They're synonymous. The school is the community, and the community the school is a reflection of the community. And we have, I think, excellent community support here. I don't know of any phase of the program that don't, whether it be athletics or band or FFA that I worked in, the community support is exceptional, and I'm proud of it. It's very important.
Very good. Patricia, since you're close there, we'll go ahead and get you to go back.
That's the bonus of living in a small community, is having a heart. That's the only thing I have to say about it. That's the plus. That's the advantage of being reared and raised in a small community, because we always come together and bridge the gap. As Ms. McCarty said, that was a good answer to me.
Okay, Jim?
Sure, this is Jim Ruffin, and I want to just echo what they said. We have an excellent working relationship with the community because I serve on the board with the Mineola Foundation. Angie served on the board with the Mineola Education Foundation. We're consistently going out, reaching out to the community to be involved in all of these different events, all types of fundraisers. All of these businesses and individuals are all contributing to the school. If you were at the award ceremony today, you would have seen 20 or 30 different individuals from prior classes here coming up and giving $500 and $1,000 scholarships to these kids. So I think we have a good community-school relationship right now.
Okay. Jackie?
This is Jackie Roddick again. I would just reiterate what everyone has said. I've worked in another school district. I worked in Claude Station ISD when I was in school there, and I would say even in that community that is so close-knit, I've never seen another community support their school district or their students the way this one does. I think as a school board, it is just our job to help ensure that that bond remains and that the community always feels like we are transparent about what we're doing, and that we always extend that opportunity to continue to be involved.
Okay. Since we have school and city officials here tonight, I think they all enjoy hearing that very much. Okay, the next one kind of goes back to where we started, but maybe again, there may be a new idea or something you want to throw in. What do you think your responsibility would be as a board member? Maybe a key thing, a responsibility. Jill?
You didn't have to go too far. This is Jill. I want to see what his Fitbit number is after his step down after this. So, I mean, it's really two things, students and finances. As a board member, you are in charge of what is best for your students and being a good steward of the money that comes in for your community and how you use the monies for your children.
Okay. Next, anybody? Jackie, since you're closer.
This is Jackie Roddick again. I just would agree with everything that Jill said. If you want a specific, I think that she summed it up. Our responsibility is to make sure that we produce a competitive, prepared student to enter the world in whatever they choose to do, and we do that in a way that is fiscally responsible. So basically, we are entrusted with money that isn't ours, and I think that our community deserves transparency from us, deserves to be able to see what we are doing, and they deserve a quality product from us as far as the student goes.
Okay. Jim?
This is Jim Ruffin, and sure, I'm going to just echo what Jill and Jackie said, but I want to throw in a new caveat for me, because the school board has a leadership function. Okay, so the leadership can't be swayed by politics or different factions. So the school board, if you look at their mandate and their mission, it is to set programs, policies, and goals and objectives for the district. And then it's supposed to manage Ms. Tonal and those that are under there to make sure that the programs and policies and procedures that they're using are working towards meeting those goals. So we are for the students, and we do set our goals and policies to make sure that they benefit from that. But remember, the school board has a management function to it also.
Okay. Others? Patricia?
And I don't want to reiterate what everyone else just said, but one of the things that sticks out to me is because under the umbrella of all those components, totally, we are here to actually bring the mission into fruition. Just continue to go with the mission of the school. We're not here to be just my thoughts only matters. The whole community thoughts matter. That pretty much we just facilitate what the mission is. And all of that falls under the umbrella of financing, the children, the teachers, all of that falls under the mission. Is basically facilitating the mission of the school vision. Because if you don't have a vision, we can't walk together.
Any others? Glenn?
Well, I think it's pretty much all been said, but obviously to give direction to the school district is function of the board, and to do so in a responsible manner to safeguard the taxpayers of the district that pay the bill, and to get the most bang for the buck, so to speak. Get the most that you can out of that money for the good of the kids, and manage it in a responsible manner.
Okay. Joe?
McCarty, I think we're here to make good, sound decisions for the students and to make sure that things are done in proper order according to the mission and the policies and procedures of the school. And I just think we need to just be able to just make those good decisions for that.
Okay. I think we had all candidates responding to that one. The next one concerns safety measures at the school. How important is safety at MISD, and what would be your suggestions? Randy?
Obviously, safety is very important. I wish that we could legislate something that would be absolute, but we can't. We've got to take every measure, every step that we can to protect the children. There's no doubt about that. But, you know, I don't know how to promise anybody that you can do that. But it's something that's important. We've got to manage. We've got to do it. I guess whatever it takes. But we're not going to get to the point, I don't think, that we can guarantee that nothing is going to happen like that. But it's important.
Okay. Anyone else? Jill?
This is Jill. I mean, I'll be brief. And I don't want to just put words in your mouth, but I don't think you're going to find anyone up here that says safety is not a concern. I don't think you'll have one person up here that says, oh, we don't care, you know, open the doors, remove the safety officer. I mean, I don't think you'll find anyone that's going to say that. So safety is, of course, a concern for all of us, and being able to provide that safety is going to be of the utmost importance, and I don't know that anyone would necessarily disagree with that.
Anyone else? Jim?
Sure, this is Jim Ruffin. And so, having spent 26 years in law enforcement, safety is definitely a concern. And we need to reach out to other districts and other resources to come in and help do some training and stuff. We've got some excellent law enforcement people here that have been trained. I mean, you can see it everywhere from our church security staff is being trained in security measures. And so, we need to use a combination of physical barriers and technology to the best of our ability, and we need to put some resources towards that to make sure that the kids are safe. There's nothing worse than a school shooting that's seen on TV and your child coming in asking you about it. You know, can we stop it 100%? No, there's no guarantees in life. But can we reduce the possibility? Sure. We need to take every measure that we can to do that.
Joe, since you're close to the mic there.
Joe McCarty. I think safety is really important, probably one of the most important things. The thing about it that I'm not sure about is how we do that, how we keep them safe. The very person you trust might be the one to come in and do whatever you think is going to be done. So I'm just, you know, I have that task every day. I'm responsible for people. And I worry about it because I don't know what I can really do to keep them that safe. But I'm gonna have to say it, I went to the man above to help me to make the decision to keep them safe, or my job could be much easier for me as far as keeping them safe, because I just don't know how we're gonna do it.
Jackie?
Okay, so I would like to just kind of go off of what Jim said as well. There have been a lot of technologies developed, and I think it's important for a school district to put some resources towards those things, like he said. But I think that there is another sort of big component of that we have to consider, especially when we're talking about schools. So there has been a lot of research going to that exact topic. And one common theme in that research is that students are a lot less likely to choose to do a really violent act or choose to participate in that if they're really engaged in their school district, if they really feel heard and they really feel like they are involved and they have a place. And so I think that in addition to investing in those resources, it's really important that we approach the programs that we develop or the programs that we choose to pursue. It's really important that we go forward with that in mind. The more our students are engaged, the more they feel like they have a family, the more that they feel that community support, the less likely they are to act out in such a horrible way.
Did everybody have the opportunity on that one, or anybody else? Any other hands? Okay. All right. Now, I think what we'll do is this will be our final one before we open it up to the audience here at City Hall. And it's going to be kind of challenging to answer this question in the time element of 1 minute, but good luck. As a newly elected board member, what top 3 changes would you recommend? What 3 changes top 3 would you recommend? I told you it'd be challenging. Any takers, start?
I'll give you 2, just
Yeah.
right off the top of my head. I'll think of the third one while I'm talking. So the first one, I think we need to take a look at the STAR testing and how we have a way that we either teach to the STAR test in order to get good benchmarks, or we don't teach it and then we get bad reports to the school board. So the STAR testing would be one thing that I'd like to look at. The second thing that I'd like to look at would be teacher retention and how can we keep our good teachers. We made mention of this before. Can we look at pay incentives? Can we look at some non-monetary things like child care? Can we look at higher education tuition reimbursement? Can we look at some of these things to help keep our teachers? And the last thing that I think is I would like to work on some team building within the school board and the administration to make sure that we have some clearly defined goals and objectives, maybe 1, 3, 5 years out, something that we can shoot for as a target.
Okay. Next. Anybody else? Glenn?
I think, I'd like to program this, but I think we need more teacher input into the process. I think we need to know more about what's working in one classroom, what's not working. I think the teachers need a bigger role in that. I think we need to stress basic skills in more than we do. We talk about technology, and it's important. Most denying that, but it's been 2 years since I was in the classroom. But the thing and I was taught in high school as secretary. The thing that bothered me the most was the reading level of the kids that was in the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. I think we need to do something to get a better job of teaching reading to kids. When they get to high school and can't read on grade level, I can see why they won't do very well in anything. And I don't think that you can get past the lower grades without that. We got to do something like that.
All right. Others? Jackie?
This is Jackie Lee Roddick again. Obviously, one of the big things, and I think it's been said before, is just teacher retention. So in the past several years, I think that we have struggled with that. We've had maybe above state average levels of teachers who are choosing to either leave the profession or go somewhere else. I'd like to look and see what we can do about that. The second thing, which is similar to what Mr. Dawson said, is not only do we have a lot of students that don't read on grade level, but I can speak from personal experience when I say that even some of our best and brightest, they go to university and they're underprepared. So I'd like to look at what we can do to make sure that our students have the best opportunity, not only as far as discussing CTE education, but in discussing all of our core classes as well. So what do we need to do in our science classes, in our math classrooms, in our reading classrooms to make sure that our students have the best opportunities in front of them so that they are prepared. And then the third thing would just be safety, just making sure that our students are as safe as possible while they're under our care.
Okay. Patricia?
I would like to piggyback. Of course, one of the things, the first and foremost is the children's safety, but also teacher retention. And lastly, the third thing that I want to talk about, I went out into the community actually talking to people. And one of the citizens here in Mineola, she said, well, we don't have those caliber students here in Mineola. And even I read your answer to Miss Jackie. I read your answers. And she said, do you know most of our students are on free lunch? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, that means we don't have those type of students here. And I looked at her. Y'all see my salad? And I said, that's why I'm running for school board. We have to change the narrative. Even though,
Go ahead and finish that sentence.
even though that could be the case, but that doesn't mean, just because of a person is low economic status doesn't mean that they can't learn.
Okay.
They should give the opportunity, have the opportunity, just like a person that are well off. That's my whole point. Because just because you have money doesn't mean that you're gonna be smart.
Okay, time. Okay, everybody? Okay, Jill.
So the top 3 things that I would want to change, I guess, you know, everyone kind of aligns a little bit on that. You know, we talk about teacher retention, and almost the number one thing that happens with teacher retention is finances, it's money. It's, you know, I can make, you know, $5,000 more if I move to this district, or $10,000 more if I can move to this district. And we may not ever be able to offer the exact same amount, but we had Mr. Dossett for 47 years. You can't tell me that we can't retain good teachers. You cannot tell me that. When people are invested in the community, when the community is invested in our school, people stay here because they want to be here. Again, safety is always an issue. There's going to be concerns even with the new CTE. It's out of town, and how are we going to secure that? Safety is going to be an issue. We have 2 officers, now we're going to add a campus possibly. Yes, sir, I see the light. And you're smiling.
Joe, did you
Yes.
respond? Okay, Joe.
What I was thinking was, I think that every single student should have the same opportunity as the brightest student in school. That's my biggest thing. The STAR testing, I think we need to focus more on education. I know we have to do the STAR test, but we spend too much time and I don't know if the teachers are forced to do this or what, but we spend too much time on STAR testing. The kids are nervous. When I talk to the kids, they're nervous about the STAR testing. They shouldn't be that way. School should be enjoyable for them. And the third thing I think would be, I don't know. I just want the school district to achieve, to go forward. I was looking at some of the dynamics, and it said, excuse me, I'm gonna do like Patricia, I'm gonna take it away. We were like meeting standards on certain things. I wanna go above that. I want us to get to that point where we work together as a team, staff, students, teachers, parents, we work together as a team. And next time we come out, we be above meeting standards. We don't just want to meet standards, we want to go above that.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you all. Now, our next segment will be audience participation. And to facilitate our radio man, Kyle, he will come kind of right in that area there. If you'll approach that area, if you have a question, we'd like for you to state your name. And then again, candidates, you'll have 1 minute on these questions that the audience might bring to us tonight. So, don't be shy. Who's first to step up? Maybe going back to these questions again.
I'll stand up. My name is Shane Holman, and a little bit of perspective, I work in the technology world. And I heard a lot of talk about technology, and so I don't care if everyone answers this or just one person. But so just a little bit of perspective is like, I mean, we have a team of 60, and that's a lot of interviews. And I don't know that I've interviewed a person who can't use technology right now. I mean, my 1-year-old knew how to use it when she's going into school, not 1-year-old, but when she's going to school at 4. she can run it very efficiently. The challenge that I see today is the ability to adapt to the change. It's no longer when you apply for a job, you know how to use PowerPoint. It's how quick can you unlearn PowerPoint and Microsoft Word and adapt to Google and adapt to, I've probably learned 12 different technologies this year. So what can the school do to help students adapt to change quicker? Because the world has changed from what you know to how to find it and how to adapt to change. Those are the people that win. How do we teach our students to do that when we go through a red tape process and they don't even, it's outdated by the time it gets to them?
Okay, thank you, Shane. Hands?
I'll attempt it. So we're concerned about our kids reading on level. We're concerned whether or not we have technology or don't have technology. I think teaching the children to adapt is difficult. Trying to unlearn something and relearn, I think that we're doing it now. I mean, we started out with iPads thinking it was the greatest thing, and now they have Chromebooks. So the kids that are in school now are already having to change and adapt to new technologies. I think that we do as good as we can with what we have to teach them, and some of it honestly is going to be on-the-job training. You're going to have to get it, you're going to have to think about it, you're going to get quick. But the children, like you said, know technology before we did. I have this ongoing joke with my daughter, I'll get a cell phone when you did. I'm like, great, I was 28. She's had one forever. I mean, not her own, but I mean, they just adapt. Their brains just soak it in. It's amazing to me.
Okay. Jackie?
So I'm going to reiterate some points I made earlier about how I think there has to be balance in the classroom between technology and old school education. I hate to call it that, but pen and paper education. I'm going to share this piece of wisdom a professor in college gave me my senior year. He told us that the good things are still the good things, and he said that no amount of knowledge or skill can replace these three things. Basically, he said, be a lifelong learner, have the ability to think critically, and have the ability to make decisions when that needs to come. I don't think we can foresee where technology is going to go or what technology our students are going to have by the time they're in the workforce or by the time they've been there for 10 or 15 years. So what can we do as a school district? We can make sure that our students are lifelong learners, that they have the ability to think critically and figure that technology out, and they have the ability to make decisions so they know what technology is important, what technology isn't. I think the good things are still the good things, however technology changes.
Okay.
And basically, we always have to go back to the basics. You have to have a good foundation in order to even know the different diversity, the different options that we have. Even if we have 500 options in the school system, we still always have to go back to the basics because you, as she said, think critically. You have to know how to run that machine, or you have to know how to do that app or that code or different ways of technology. You have to know how to use it. Even though you might have to know how to do it, but you have to know how to apply it even if you don't have that. What if it breaks down? You have to have the basics. You have to have a foundation. And it's always going to go back to that.
Others? Jim?
Sure, I'll take a little different slant. We need you. We need you. So I'll give this example. So when we first moved here, they had the football camps and all that through the summer. And I was asking, where are the computer camps? Where are the robotics camps? Where are the... So when we talk about partnerships and our relationships with the community, number one, we need our teachers to continue to be innovative, go back to school, get higher degrees, figure out what's going on in today's world. And we need people like you that work in the community and know what's needed to give us feedback for that. The best way to do that is come to school board meetings or look at the CTE programs, because these are the people that we're sending through these programs that are putting them right out into the workforce. So we need you. Get involved. Come tell us what we need.
Others? Okay. All right. we'll go to anyone else in the audience who wants to step up. Kara?
Good afternoon, thank you guys. Kara Ellery, graduated of Mineola High School. I've raised 3 children who have all 3 graduated from high school here in Mineola, as well as my husband. And I want to thank the school board for bringing Dr. Tunnell to us, because she has been an amazing asset. I've seen more growth throughout my time, from a high school student through my students to an educator now who teaches within the district. CTE programs, things that weren't available for, phlebotomy classes, kids leaving with certifications. Awesome and amazing. However, something concerned me a few months back whenever it was reported that a vote of 4 to 2 was made to hold, wait and see where things go, depending on students' STAR scores. As a teacher, that was a cold, hard blow to be able to see that. That hurt to the core. And whenever I see an administrator from top down saying that our kids are more than a score, it is more than about what they do on one day, on one test, then I see the board vote something different. I feel as though I'm hearing 2 different things, and I'm hearing contradictory of terms. What is y'all's take on that topic?
Okay. You start. Jill?
Oh goodness. This is Jill. So, yes, I tell my children first off that the STAR test is a selfie. How many selfies do they take? It's how you look at that moment. It's if you had a great picture day or you had a not so good hair day. That's what the STAR test is. It's how you function on that one day. We are mandated to do it, so we have to take it. We did vote a couple of years ago that we were not going to teach to the STAR, that we were going to teach our students and what they needed to know, because we have excellent teachers, and how the STAR tests come out, they come out. So to hold the superintendent responsible for a test that we had previously voted we weren't going to teach to specifically, I have problems with. But that's for another day, I'm sure.
Next. Jim?
Sure. So, in one of my earlier answers, we talked about the blended learning and individualized learning and the personalized learning, and this is the way that they teach now, away from teaching to the STAR test. But the problem here is, if you go to the school board's website, the Mineola ISD websites, one of the criterias of being successful, unfortunately, is the STAR test. And so when we talk about Ms. Tunnell and the contract extension and tabling that based on the STAR test, that's because one of the goals and objectives that we've mentioned up here a couple of times, that test is one of those. And that's unfortunate that somebody may have an evaluation criteria that has 9 elements and number 4 is the STAR test. You may do great in the other ones and not do good in that one, but that's what we're holding accountable for, and I don't necessarily agree with that either. But that's the rules that we're playing by right now.
Okay. Others? Jackie?
I will just add to that, not only is it a criteria for our school district, but right, wrong, or indifferent, the STAR test is the standard by which the state judges our school district. Despite anyone's opinions on Dr. Tunnell, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, when our report card comes out, that's what they're judging us on. And I think that we have to consider that before we make decisions. I'll agree, I think every person in this room would. We don't judge our students by that. We know that our students are more than that. We know that they're capable of more than that. But when it comes to the school board's function, and we recognize that that is how our school district is graded, we have to take those scores into consideration.
Okay. Others? Lynn?
I don't know discuss anybody's contractual status is appropriate
Yeah.
in this kind of meeting. I certainly wouldn't mind discussed this way. But, you know, we don't know what the board had before them. I mean, at least I don't know. I don't know why they made the decision that they did, but, you know, they're a board. Maybe everything that they had to consider, you know, I don't think it's appropriate for us to do this now and certainly not second guess the decision that the board made. I'm sure they took quite a bit of time deliberating that.
Thank you, Lee. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, Tricia?
Wow. Wow. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. You asked a question earlier about being enclosed, like a private meeting, and out. To me, you always, is no back and forth. And to me, I would have to know more about the situation because I haven't been here before as this for. I think Mineola is known more as a school district than it's ever been known. I will say that. And I can't say with a clear conscience that I could stand before Miss Tom in her face and before the people and before God that I could say, oh, I think we should keep her or not keep her. Because I don't know enough about all the components that they looked at other than the test. So I would have to know more. But I will say Mineola is known more, a lot more now than it ever has been known. And thank you, Ms. Tom.
Yeah. Last call from anybody else? Okay. We scheduled the time for an hour and a half, and there's just enough time for your closing statements. But I'm guessing it's okay with the city. If there's anyone who wants to talk one-on-one to any of the candidates, I'm sure there'll be a little time left, even after the radio broadcast, even after we officially close this forum. Am I okay with that? Okay. All right, so we will begin the final, your final thoughts. Hopefully we covered enough topics to give our both listeners and those here tonight a chance to understand a little bit where you stand. But this will be your last opportunity to address the voters, and you'll have 2 minutes. And I tell you what we'll do. We started with Jim first. Let's go in the reverse order on this one. So Glenn, you're up for 2 minutes.
Well, I'd just like to say that, you know, I hope everybody in the district goes and votes. I hope that this is not a decision that's made by 200 or 300 people. I hope everybody goes and voices their opinion. I appreciate the opportunity to run. If elected, I'll serve to the best of my ability to represent the people that voted for me. If I'm not elected, I will support the people that are, and I'll expect them to honor the trust that the voters of the school district have put into them and see that this school district is led in a positive manner.
Okay. Thank you, Glenn. Patricia?
The closing remarks that I would just like to say is that we're better together. Instead of one group over here and one group over there or that group over there, we're better together. Only one way that we can be successful, and that's coming together collectively and with respect and honor for the kids, for the children. It's not about us, it's about the children. And we're better together. The only way is we come in togetherness on one accord, with one mind, only to bring the children to a better place to be successful in the future. Thank you, and I hope you vote Patricia right.
Jill?
I'm Jill Melvin Keombau, and I just want to say I will be very proud to serve for you again. I feel like I am honest, hardworking, trustworthy, dedicated, and definitely invested in our community. I want what's best for all of our children. I want our teachers to have everything that they need to serve our children and to educate our children, and I want them to have the best opportunities that our taxpayer dollars are here to offer them.
Jill? Jackie?
This is Jackie Lee Roddick. First, I just want to say thank you for coming out and listening to all of us ramble for an hour and a half. And I also just want to encourage everyone that your role and your job in the community, no matter who's on the school board, doesn't end tonight or Saturday. I hope that you'll continue to be involved and hold whoever is elected accountable, and continue to be a voice in the community for both students and taxpayers. If I'm elected, I will serve to the best of my abilities, hopefully provide that same transparency that I talked about tonight. But if not, I'll continue to support our community and support our school district because it's what I believe in. It's what I believe that we all have a responsibility to do as a good citizen. But please just turn out and vote. Encourage your friends to do the same. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Joe?
I'm Joe McCarty, and I just want to say that I want to be on the school board. I want to have the opportunities to show that we can bridge the gap between the community and everybody. I want that opportunity. If you vote for me, I appreciate it. Just know that if I'm given the opportunity to be on there, I'm going to do the best of my ability to be a team player, to make the right decisions. That's the most important thing. Make the right decisions for the kids. Make the right decisions for the staff. Make the right decision for to go along with the superintendent. I just want to be a team player. I want to make a difference in Mineola ISD. And I thank you all for coming out to listen to us rumble on, like you said. You know what? I'm going to say this. I was kind of afraid to come here, but I'm glad I came. Because what better way you can get a perspective of a person and what they really feel than to hear it come from them.
Yes.
You can, just by looking at somebody, you can tell their heart where their heart is. You know, I can sit up here and say all kind of big words to you, but my heart says children are the most important thing, what we're talking about here tonight. And I just want you to remember that. When you go vote, go Joe Wright. Joe Right.
She said right.
Jim?
Thank you. So again, this is Jim Ruffin, and we have some big issues in the district. And I was scared too, I'll have to admit that, but I was scared for a different reason, because I was thinking of all these topics. So arming the teachers, I remember that discussion last year. Teacher retention and pay increases and bonuses, and the CTE program and the hub and all of these different issues, and the STAR test. These are all huge issues. And the school board provides a leadership role. And I would like to bring that to the table for the school board. Having served and managed people for many, many years, I would like to see a team approach, just like some of these other candidates have said. We need to come together. One of the very first lines in the school board's mission statement is serve the school in partnership with the community. Okay? So if you see all of the activities that we have going on, from the award ceremonies yesterday and today at the school, to walking with the golf girls as they won the district championship, we have a great school district going on here. I wasn't born here, but we moved here, my kids are here, and we're staying here. So I'm willing to serve, and I will put my heart and soul into it. If I don't get elected, I'm still going to be there. I'm still going to be walking with the golf team. I'm still going to Sky Ranch with the kids. So I'll be involved. So when you cast your vote, think about Jim Ruffin. Thank you.
A couple of final comments. I want to thank the sponsor, the Mineola Foundation, the CTE committee of the foundation, the City Hall for providing our space tonight, and to the audience who came tonight, the radio audience as well. And I'd like to ask the audience who are here tonight, Did you enjoy this opportunity to see these candidates and hear them? First, thank each of you for being here, and I certainly got a lot out of it myself. Thank you very much. So good night, and thanks for joining us here at City Hall.